Good evening. I am Inez, the host of the Aha Moment Show on a Saturday evening, and I'm thrilled that you're with me tonight. Remember, as Abraham Hicks says, things are always working out for you. Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out even when we don't know that they're working out. And one of the things that I know for sure is things are always working out for you and things are always working out for me. And when they look like they're not working out, the best thing that we can do for ourselves is say it out loud. You might want to shout it, say it more than one time. Things are always working out for me. And that sends the vibration out that yes, I know for sure that things are always working out and they're working out in your favor, even when it doesn't look like it's in your favor. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Some perceptions that you might have about some things that happened in your life and they didn't feel so good. And because they didn't feel so good, you looked at it with a negative perception. And for some, it's been holding you back, holding you hostage from going forward with the ideas that you have. You know, we generate ideas all the time. And because we're always generating ideas, we have the opportunity to seize the moment or to let it go. Because all we have is this moment right here, right now. So as you're watching this, remember that this is some time that you have chosen to give up in order to watch the Aha Moment Show. And that's a wonderful thing. I trust that tonight you will hear something that motivates you to get off of that, whatever's got you stuck, and to move forward. Use it as a stepping stone. Because as you have these stepping stones in your life, you take the first step and feel good. You take the second, and the more steps that you take, opening your eyes, opening your whole energetic self into the vibration of allowing, accepting, and receiving, and knowing that, yes, I am on the right track. See, one thing about perception is this. However we look at things is how we move forward on it. How we determine whether it's good, bad, different, or it doesn't matter. However we look at it is what's going to give us the energy to do right, left, in the middle, turn around and go back. It doesn't matter. Looking at things with our eyes, feeling things in our core self, feeling the wind sometimes on our arms. Sometimes you might have an aha moment and all of a sudden you get chill bumps. You know there's something that will probably get you going. Then you think, well, maybe not now. Why not now? When you get these hits, when you get this information coming, even if it doesn't feel so good, we can always look at it in a different way. And we take from that the things that will bring us exquisite bliss, exquisite joy. Now you say, Inez, I might have to dig really, really deeply. Yes, you might have to dig really, really deeply. And it's really up to you to decide that digging deeply is important because you are in control of you. And when you allow whatever it is to keep you derailed for years and years and years, you find that you start minimizing yourself. So make yourself a promise right now that and you might just say this out loud to yourself, I will never minimize myself again for anybody else's comfort. I will always be me. And whoever that me is that shows up, that's perfectly fine because you're being yourself all the time. So when we look at perception, it could be something that happened when you were a child because things happen when we are a child and now we are today's years old and we still hold on to it. Tonight, I'm going to show you give you some steps on how to change your perception about things that are holding you from being the person you know yourself to be, because who am I to be that person? If it comes to you, you are that person. So stop shutting it down. Stop shutting down that I am successful. Stop shutting down that I can be, do, and have whatever my heart desires. It's just the process of going for it, putting the steps in place. And sometimes the steps that we put in place might be A, B, C, and you find yourself on M, N, and O because all the other stuff just fell out of place. It wasn't even necessary. It is good to set goals. Let me just put that out there. It is good to set goals. And when you set a goal, make the goal so that it's fluid if it has to be. If something comes up over which you feel you have no control, don't let it derail you from your goal. Just set it aside and get whatever that is that happened out of the way so you can get back to it. Because as long as you keep it up here and keep it here and keep it in your heart, now you know I can do what I set out to do. And you might think it's going to take a year. It might only take 6 months. You might think it's going to take a year and you end up taking 10 years, but you do it. See, that's the thing. So when you change your perception about whatever it is that told you who you could be or whoever told you that, sit with that for a moment and think about this. It's perfectly okay for me to let that go. Look at who told you in your mind's eye, or if they're present, you can look at them in your mind thinking, well, who are they to tell me who I could be or who I couldn't be and all of that? And one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself, and we're going to talk about this as perception goes along, is to get healthy and stay healthy. And as you begin to get healthy and stay healthy, mind, body, spirit, all of that, because it's, even though we call it mind, body, spirit, it's all one vessel. And because it is all one vessel, as we are working in the energetic space of noticing how we feed ourselves, noticing if we're exercising, noticing if we're drinking enough water, noticing if we're getting enough sleep, noticing if we are giving ourselves permission, and I say that intentionally, to just sit back and relax and be. Just be in the energetic space of me, 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 me. And as you're being in your me energetic space, allow yourself to just let the energy around you envelop you in such a loving way that you know that you matter. And because you know that you matter and that you know that you are deserving, now that empowers you to move forward on whatever your dreams are. So perceptions can be your reality if you allow it to be, or perceptions can be changed over time. Reality is what you make it. So those things that are keeping you from being the person you know you were put on this earth to be and to enjoy life. So many people have decided that, I have to suffer. You don't. You really don't. And because you don't have to suffer, it is a request that you make to yourself in order for you to suffer, whatever suffering is. And then as you look at this, you might start to thinking, well, Inez, why not? I mean, why am I not suffering? Because you chose not to. See, we live a life of choice all the time. And in living this life of choice, you get to know that I choose for myself. That's if you're an adult, okay? If you're still a child, other people are going to make some decisions for you and you get to live with that. As an adult, though, you get to make your own decisions. On what will you base your decisions? On the life that you had that was causing you pain, or on something that's totally new that you have not even experienced, but in your mind you've experienced it because you know exactly what you desire. Now, how do you know what you desire? Because it keeps coming up. The desires of your heart will keep coming up. And the more you tamp them down, it might take a little bit longer for it to surface, but it is going to come up. So as you are going through and having the desires of your heart, let's just talk about one step that you can make. One tip that I'm sharing with you tonight is to sit with pen and paper. And as you sit with this pen and paper, allow yourself to let your mind just go hither and yon and back and forth. And as it's going and bringing you all these ideas, you're writing them down, writing them down, writing them down. And as you write them down, it's called free flow writing. And as you're writing, you go back and read it later on and you go, wow, that was brilliant. That's really great. It's giving you the information that you've been requesting and you didn't know how to receive it. So once you give yourself, I'm going to sit down with my pad And I am going to ask for this free flow writing to guide me into the desires of my heart. And as this guides you, my tongue's getting twisted, as it guides you into the desires of your heart, it makes all the difference. Now, some of it you're going to look at and you're going to think, oh, no, that's not for me, but it wouldn't have come had it not been for you. You might not be in the energetic vibration to receive it at this moment. However, when you get to that vibration, you will. So don't negate the information that you get. Read it, absorb it, let it wash over you, in you, around you, about you, in front of you, behind you, everywhere that you go. And as you are thinking about what you wrote, you're going to be amazed at the opportunities that show up. These are your stepping stones, because now you have released whatever attachment you had to what was before, because it wasn't who you desired to be. So now that you have released attachment to that, these stepping stones will appear, and they will look like they appeared from nowhere. Sometimes they do. Looks like they come out of thin air. But when you sit back and think about it, you can start remembering, well, this happened and that happened and that happened, and that's how I got to this point. And it's okay. Be grateful for that. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So the first time you sit down to start writing, you might not be able to write 10 sentences. And that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Be okay with it. And just breathe in the energy of knowing that I did write something. And sometimes you might sit there for 20 minutes and stare at a blank sheet of paper. It's okay. Close up your book, put down your pen, and go for a walk. Go have some water. Release it so that when you return to it the next day or the same day, now something might flow. And you might have 2 or 3 or 4 days of not being able to write anything. That's because things are percolating. I remember growing up and my mom and dad loved coffee. We were not allowed to have coffee. However, they loved coffee. And they had a percolator pot, the percolator coffee pot that they cooked on the stove, the coffee. And you could see the percolator, the coffee jumping up in it and hear the sound. And I used to love the smell of coffee, even though I wasn't old enough to drink it. But when I got old enough, I did. So and I still enjoy a cup of coffee. But I said that to say it's how things percolate. It's getting ready. It's cooking inside of you, so that when it comes all the way up to the top and you're ready to pour it out and drink from this wonderful cup, now, man, you are on fire. And that fire burns and burns and burns so deeply within you that there's nothing you can do to put it out except go for it. And as you're going for it, your stride changes, your language changes, because the language that you used to use did not support you in being this person that you are becoming. And as you are becoming this person and staying in that energy, it makes all the difference. So that's the first thing. Write it down. And you can share it with somebody, but let me just caution you about sharing your ideas about things with others. Choose wisely, mindfully, discerningly about with whom you're going to share your ideas. I would suggest that you share ideas with people that you know are going to support you and say, you can do that. You can do that. Even if they're thinking in their mind, you know, she can't get that done, but they're going to tell you, you can do that. And as you hear that, it gives you more energy to stick to your plan. And sticking to your plan of action is just amazing. Now, once you have done that, another tip, the second tip that I'm going to give you tonight is be aware of your surroundings at all times. You want to write that down as well. Because as you're moving from what used to be to what is becoming your now, it's going to be very important that you take notice all of your surroundings all the time. And why do I say that? Because your surroundings gives you clues of what's about to happen. Your surroundings will also guide you to the places that you desire to be. And how does that work? It's almost magical the way that works. And I like using that word magic because I've experienced so much of it. You can be walking down the street and you're thinking about something else. And then you look over there and you see something that catches your eye, and it's like, oh, let me go over here and take a look at this. You go and you'll go over there and you look at this and you talk to whomever's there, or have a conversation, have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. And as you're sitting there, what you were thinking about kind of gels in your mind, so that now you're so clear on it. When you get up to walk away, you know with total assuredness, clarity around whatever it is you're doing, and you get it done. And that makes it really easy, because now you're not sitting wondering, oh, I need to go do this, I need to go that. No, you are on a focused journey. And when you get on that focused journey, staying focused is going to be key to getting to where you want to be, being the person you know yourself to be. And it feels really, really good. So whenever that happens, be sure to keep a journal of what happened, how it happened, put dates on it, or dates on your page, so and the time as well. Because I have found that by putting the time and the dates on my page, I can actually go back to that energy and feel it again, relive that experience. I don't have to wonder when it happened. Because when we're wondering when it happened, sometimes we wonder, did it really happen? You get to choose. Choice is a beautiful thing. Before you choose, though, is one other requirement, is confidence. When you have the confidence, because you've done the free floor writing and you've been writing it down and you know exactly what you're going for, you know that you have a stepping stone on your path, you're on your way. The confidence to continue on that path. First of all, the confidence to even give yourself permission to do the writing, and the confidence to start on the stepping stones. Now you get some choices to make. This is another tip. As you are making your choices based on the confidence that you have acquired over time, or immediately knowing that this is what you want. When you start using my tongue again, allowing yourself to be confidently assured of everything that you desire, then it becomes incumbent upon you to move forward. So you're confidently choosing as you move forward and finding the freedom that you have been desiring all your life. Sometimes in this confidence, it is so clear to you that it's time for me to let go of something that I've been holding on to that didn't feel so good. It's time for me to allow myself to explore other options. And as you're exploring these other options, you will be guided, because now you know how to reconnect with yourself to get the guidance from yourself. It's not out there someplace, it's inside of you. Yeah, you might read books and you might talk to people and they can give you some ideas, and that's perfect if these ideas suit you. But just because I give you an idea doesn't mean you got to use it. You can take what I say and use it. You can take what I say and tweak it. You can take it and throw it out the window. The thing is, you heard what I said. If it resonated with you, that's great. If it didn't, and you got to sit with it for a while and starts to resonate, that's fine. Or it could just be, that's not for me. And that's perfectly fine, because whatever is for you, you will immediately recognize it. So as you're going through this week, going through the rest of this evening or morning or wherever you are in the world, as you're going through your days, just reflect back on it. Reflect back on, who am I being now? What am I saying to myself? And be very aware of the words you use when you're talking to I. When you're talking to I, be very aware, because those words also have power. And those words also go out into the universe. So everything that you say, be very mindful of it. And as you're being discerning and mindful and finding words to use that empower you to continue on your journey, empower you to even go even bigger than you ever dreamed. Now you're wondering, how do I go bigger than I've ever dreamed? It will come to you. It will come to you in such a package that it's impossible to say, I can't do that, because you know that you can. And as you are growing in your knowing of yourself, as you are growing in knowing how to perceive what's going on around you, being aware at all times, intuitively getting this information and knowing that it belongs to you. Because as you get information that you know belongs to you, now it's yours to own, it's yours to give, it's yours to throw away, but it's still yours. That in itself is a sense of freedom. You are not required to hold on to everything somebody gives you or everything somebody tells you. None of that is required. You're only required to live your life on your own terms. Now, what does that mean? Another tip. It means that you are confident in your own abilities, that you are so confident in your own abilities that you don't have to lean on anybody else. It's good to have friends, it's good to have family, but ultimately the buck stops with you. And when that buck stops with you, that's whether they say the rubber meets the road. You got to show up. And as you are showing up for yourself, so it's not about showing up for anybody over there. It's all about showing up for yourself. Because as we show up for ourselves, we are also showing up for others. And others are noticing that as well. Perception is everything. As you're looking at something and it looks like, oh, that's so hard, that's not doable, I can guarantee you it will be hard and it will not be doable without a lot of hard work. We make things so complex when most things are just simple. And when you find yourself talking about this is hard, I gotta grind, just remember, we were put here for ease and grace, easy and effortless. This causes friction. That means my hands don't want to slide against each other. Why am I making it so difficult by causing friction in my thoughts and in my actions? So instead of causing friction, put some oil in my hand and just ride it like that. Choose a different thought, choose a different pattern. And sometimes you'll find yourself doing pattern interrupts all day long because you'll be thinking of something, oh, nope, that's not for today. Nope, that's not for today. And that's fine because it keeps you on your task. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you going. So what I'm saying to you tonight is this: perception is everything. And when you allow your perception of something that didn't feel so good to change, it might take a bit of work, and that's okay. But when you go delving deeply into it, see, if we were 5, 7, 10 and teenagers, our thought patterns are different then. So with an adult mind, an adult brain, an adult thinking, now we can look at it and flip it. Because the way we saw it at that age was the age that we knew how, the mind that we had at that time was that age. So now that you're an adult, however today's age is, now you get to see it in a different light. It sometimes doesn't mean it's going to be pleasant still, but at least you can look at it differently. And as you're looking at it differently with the age that you are today, it can bring some light and shine some light on it. And shining the light on it is exactly what you want to do. Because as long as it's in the dark, it's going to cause you problems. But when you shine the light on it, now you can see it differently. And the light is shining from within you on whatever it is. Release it out into the universe and let it go and go about your business, living your exquisite, blissful life. That's so amazing. Your life of splendor, your life of success, your life of loving yourself over the top and intimately and others as well. Your life of enjoying breathing in and breathing out, hydrating yourself, eating food that nourishes the body, exercising. Now that is amazing. And exercising is whatever you want it to be. Because as long as you stay on your same path expecting something different, it's not going to happen. The moment you choose to do something different, now you get to doing things in a way that's going to support you and getting the goals set that you desire, moving forward on your path, and just having the time of your life. Make it fun. You know, sometimes as we get older, we think that we can't have fun anymore. Yes, you can. In fact, I think that the older I get, the more fun that I'm going to have because I enjoy having fun. Why would you want to walk around, as my dad would say, walking on your bottom lip? And so the thing is, we get to choose. The most awesome, awesome gift that we have that we can give ourselves is to choose. Remember to do your free flow writing. Remember to write out your goals, put them down. Because we can walk around with them in our head, and that's exactly where they hang out in our head, and we never get it done. Remember to enjoy every step of the way. It's up to us to really choose our own enjoyment. It's up to us to create our own fun. It's not for anybody else. And if it's fun for you because you're out in the world all day, it's fun for you to just come home and just sit down and relax. That's your fun. It's okay. I can't tell you what your fun is. I don't even want to tell you what your fun is. You would want me to tell you what your fun is, because fun is all about what you decide to do with your life. And it doesn't matter when you start. It does matter that you start. That's the only thing that matters, is that you start. And when you start, keep a journal. Make sure that you're keeping that journal so that you can go back and read it and see how smart you are. Some of the things you write will astound you when you're reading. You're going, wow, I wrote this. Yeah, you did. And that is just one of the things that will move you forward again. Stepping stones. That's what you have, stepping stones. And as you have these stepping stones and you know you got these stepping stones, step on them, please. Don't just let the path lay out there waiting for you to step on it. Step on the stones, make your way wherever you're going with these opportunities that come to you because you made a decision. And in making that decision, you decided, yes, I am going to live. I'm going to live out loud. I'm going to be bold, brilliant, out there, being myself. And being yourself is just for you, not about anybody else. Unless, of course, you invite somebody else to tell you what to do, which I don't think you will now, because you know that you have everything inherently within you to create the lifestyle, the health, the wealth that you desire. And yes, I said that. You call it to you with your energy, your actions, and going forward. And as you're calling it to you with your energy, your action, and going forward, it cannot stop unless you stop it. When you say, oh, but, you stop it. But as long as you are anding it and, now you know you're on your path. I am Inez, your host of Aha Moments That Last. I'm so delighted that you're with me. Remember, things are always working out for you. Things are always working out for me. And because things are always working out, they're going to come out in your favor, even though sometimes it doesn't look like it's in your favor, but it's all working out for you. And as things are working out for you, remember that. When it looks like things are getting hard, things are getting rough, and you're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Remember that things are working out for you. And it's all out there in the universe working out. So you're not touching it and seeing it and tasting it, doesn't mean that it's not happening, because things are always working out. You can reach me at inez@inezbracy.com. That's my email address. Or you can go to my website, inezbracy.com. And there's a contact form on there where you can send me a message if you like. And it's also a button right across the top where you can schedule a meeting if you'd like to talk with me. I'd love to hear from you, because I know when you make the decision to stop being hostage to something that happened years and years ago, or even this morning, you will change your life on your own terms. And changing your life on your own terms is another gift that you can give yourself that keeps on keeping on. Because once you start, there's no way that you will go back to allowing somebody else to tell you who you can be, what you can do, and how to do it. So yes, perception is everything. And you can change your perceptions over time, because the way you look at things change when you change the way you look at them. I shall see you next Saturday.